You didn't find this message found you. That's not luck. That's divine alignment. Deep down, you know you were never meant for an average life. You've always felt it, like a whisper in your soul, that you were chosen for something greater. And now, the time has come. No more waiting, no more holding back. This is your moment. The old world has taught you to shrink, to doubt, to settle. But the voice calling you now, it's louder than fear and clearer than confusion. It's a sacred calling, straight from the source. You're not here to survive, you're here to rise. This is bigger than motivation. This is transformation, and it begins now. Ready? Let's go. The signs have been building, and now the moment arrives when the veil thins and the next phase calls you forward. What you've longed for, what your soul has whispered about in silent moments, isn't ahead, it's here. This is the turning point where your inner self begins to outgrow every limit you've ever accepted. The familiar world no longer contains you. A new frequency begins to hum in your bones, and it signals the beginning of something far beyond what your senses once knew. Change no longer waits. The current is moving fast, and hesitation has a cost. This shift does not knock softly. It roars. So pause. Tune in. Declare your presence with purpose. Mark your entry into this sacred space by engaging fully, with heart, with action, with fire. Let the collective intention of this rising force be seen and felt. Let your voice echo the readiness of your soul. Every symbol carries weight, and some numbers open more than doors. They unlock dimensions. Mark your alignment. Let the world feel your pulse. If this speaks to you, it's because you already know it's yours. And if you walk this path to its end, everything will change. What you hold now is not a message, it's a catalyst. The journey has already begun. Looking for purpose and peace. Hit subscribe and start the journey. So rise, let the shift begin. There is a moment in every soul's timeline where the false layers fall away and something ancient begins to speak. This is that moment. It doesn't demand attention. It demands devotion. This summons is not from the world. It comes from the origin, from the infinite. It calls you now not to listen, but to become. Everything begins to shift in response to your awakening. The invisible structures of reality realign. The noise of the external world starts to quiet. A sacred silence expands in the space between your thoughts. This is the invitation to rise above the surface chaos and enter a deeper current, where love is not emotion, but force, and purpose is not a question, but a knowing. Feel God's love stirring within you. Don't let it stop there. Hit the super thank you button and sow a seed of $20 or more. That simple act can ignite hope, heal hearts, and carry His love further than you imagine. You were made to shine His light. This is your moment. Be the miracle someone's been praying for. Let heaven move through you. This path is narrow by design. It doesn't widen for comfort. It chooses only those who have carried fire through storms, who have shattered and rebuilt again and again. You have not endured in vain. Every challenge, every crack in the path brought you here. And now it is time to claim what has always waited for you. You now stand at the boundary between what has been and what can no longer be denied. Behind you, the echoes of limitation fade. Ahead, the vast and unfamiliar brilliance of what you are becoming begins to glow. This isn't just transformation. It's a departure from the known, a leap into the soul's original design. The mind may hesitate, the world may resist, but the core of your being knows. It has always known. It's time to step into the rhythm, that was yours before the noise. Your essence was never meant to stay confined to this layer. This ground was only a passage, not a destination. And the light that pulls you forward now doesn't come from outside. It rises from within. There's something within you that refuses to be silenced. A quiet brilliance that has never quite fit into the noise of this world. That's not a flaw. It's the truth of your origin calling you back. You carry a radiant thread woven from something far beyond this place. The challenges you faced weren't punishments. They were catalysts, sparks igniting your remembrance of who you truly are. It hasn't been easy. The world can bruise the sensitive and test the faithful. You've felt the sting of being unseen, the ache of being misunderstood, and the exhaustion of carrying a light too bright for rooms that choose darkness. But every moment of pain carved out more space inside you to hold something eternal. The deeper the wound, the wider the opening for what's coming. You were never meant to live trapped within cycles that repeat without meaning. There's been a pull inside you your whole life, subtle but relentless, reminding you that your direction points elsewhere. This path is not random. It was drawn for you. The road you walk is lined with invisible signs. You were never lost. You were being prepared. Make your impact eternal. Join now and be a light in someone's darkness. The stretch of the path has been long, and at times you wondered if it would ever make sense. But now, something begins to shift. The weight feels lighter. The noise grows quieter. What once bound you begins to loosen. The next phase is not a step, it's a leap. And though it means letting go of the familiar, the release itself is holy. This isn't a departure born of sorrow. It's a sacred unveiling. You're not leaving something behind. You're stepping into what has always awaited. All the burdens, the doubt, the fear, they lose their hold the moment your soul remembers its direction. The material plane, once so loud and urgent, starts to fade in importance. How this transition reveals itself may differ. For some, it's a gradual unveiling during their time on Earth. For others, it's a threshold crossed in the final chapter of life. But the essence is always the same, a gentle call to return, to expand beyond the edges of limitation into something timeless. In that return, everything softens. You are held, not in words, but in a presence so vast it silences every fear. The shift is not disappearance, it's remembrance. The density lifts, the walls disappear. The brilliance that has always waited behind the veil steps forward. What you once called the end is simply the first moment of your truest form taking flight. Something ancient stirs inside you, a deep recognition that this is more than just another turning point. It is a divine intersection written long before you arrived here. Whether or not you feel prepared, the unfolding has already begun. There are moments in existence when the unseen becomes undeniable, and this is one of them. Not everyone reaches this place. Only a rare few cross this threshold, and you are among them. This sacred unfolding isn't random. It is precise. Like a fine-tuned resonance, the call vibrates only at the frequency of those ready to rise. It separates, not with judgment, but with wisdom, drawing forward only the ones who have endured the refining fire and stayed open-hearted through the storm. If something inside you leans in, it's because you already belong to this path. Most remain entangled in surface pursuits, unaware of the greater design moving beneath their lives. But you, the one who questions deeper, who walks through fire with sacred intent, you've lived differently. You've given up comfort for truth, ease for expansion. The path you've chosen has always been more than survival. It's been about awakening. This message reaches you now because it must, because your time to rise can no longer be delayed. The light within you isn't ordinary. It's a rare flame meant to illuminate what others cannot yet see. This is your elevation, your appointment with divine purpose. You are not here by coincidence. You are here because destiny called your name. All along the way, a presence has walked beside you, silent, watchful, guiding. Every step, every fall, every moment of strength drawn from the deepest well was seen and counted. What once felt like hardship was not meant to harm, but to prepare. You've walked through the forging. Now the promise draws near. The reward that awaits is not fleeting or shallow. It's not measured in worldly gain, but in sacred substance. A peace that rewrites your story, a joy untouched by time, and a role in the divine symphony that reflects your highest self. You will be known not by status, but by light, recognized where it truly matters. The blessings that unfold now are not earned. They are received because you remained true. They arrive not as noise, but as quiet strength that saturates every part of you. The pain you carried becomes the soil from which your power now blooms. You are not forgotten. You are exalted. When your heart is full of God's love, it's a sign to give. By tapping the super thank you button and offering $100 or more, you become a vessel of His grace. Your generosity can change lives, reaching hearts you may never meet. You have a divine purpose, and this act of faith carries His light forward. Give now, and may His blessings surround you always. Your strength has been witnessed. The invisible struggles you overcame are etched into the memory of the eternal. You are not just rising, you are being honored. You didn't break, you became whole. Every test, every silence, every fall and rise was part of the shaping. You never walked alone. What you have lived through wasn't random. It was designed, not to crush you, but to craft you. What comes next is not the end of the path. It is your arrival into a sacred role. Think of this not as the finish line, but the coronation of everything your soul has worked toward. This is the beginning of your highest assignment, and it starts now. There comes a point when wandering turns into devotion, when your path no longer drifts, but anchors into something sacred. You step into a role not defined by the world, but shaped by the divine. What once felt like searching now transforms into sacred service. This elevation is not a title, but a deeper connection, a new purpose woven with reverence, strength, and unwavering light. You've been entrusted, and the weight of this calling is matched by its glory. A shift within beckons you to claim the identity that's always lived in the core of your being. The old layers have fallen away. What remains is clarity, an understanding that this journey was never just about endurance, but about evolution. The path ahead is brighter, yet calls for even deeper humility. This isn't the end of the road, it's the opening of a higher trail, built for those who have proven their spirit unshakable. You now stand at the edge of a realm that escapes explanation. It stretches beyond intellect, beyond what can be grasped with thought. In this space, time doesn't dictate, and separation dissolves. The noise of the world dims, and what rises is a calm beyond words, a realm where presence itself becomes communion. In this higher plane, barriers disappear, limitations no longer cling, the soul unbinds, and expansion becomes natural. This transformation rewrites every layer of your being. It's not abstract, it's felt. As the old ways crumble, the real self begins to emerge, bold, radiant, untouched by the weight of former fears. Make your impact eternal. Join now and be a light in someone's darkness. Here, you are nourished not by words, but by pure essence. Energy flows differently, more freely, more fully. The divine isn't distant. It surrounds you, moves through you, becomes you. What you once sought now greets you from within. This is where exhaustion ends and renewal begins. This is where the soul feels its original home. Each step forward now takes you closer to wholeness. The recognition you longed for may not have come from people, but what awaits was never meant to come from them. The world may have overlooked your light, but the unseen realms have watched every step with awe. That pain you carried in silence has always had purpose. The reverence you're about to receive cannot be measured in titles or praise. It's woven into the essence of eternity. In a realm beyond the physical, every act of love, every silent sacrifice is remembered, honored, and magnified. What the world ignored, the eternal now lifts high. Every tear you hid, every burden you bore, becomes a badge of honor in this new state of being. You are not just seen, you are celebrated. Where others turned away, the divine leaned in. You kept walking, you kept choosing love, and now the reward rises to meet you. None of this was random. Every hardship was part of a precise refinement. Each fall was a lesson, each delay a realignment. You've been shaped by something higher, molded for more. And now you rise, not above others, but deeper into your sacred function. This isn't escape, it's arrival. Now, a new horizon stretches before you. Not a finish line, but an invitation to serve with greater clarity, purpose, and joy. You carry wisdom now, the kind only earned through experience. What lies ahead is not just light, it's legacy. You step into your higher place, and the divine awaits, arms open in knowing welcome. Everything you've walked through has led you here, not to pause, but to rise. The growth you've undergone is undeniable, and now the calling asks for more. You're no longer just preparing, you're stepping into sacred responsibility. This isn't just about recognition, it's about partnership. You've been chosen to stand in alignment with a higher design, to act as a vessel of healing, of truth, of light that reaches far beyond your own story. To be entrusted at this level is no small honor. It is the confirmation that your presence matters on a cosmic scale. The journey ahead asks you to step into sacred service, not with weight, but with joy. Each task you are given fits the rhythm of your essence. You don't just participate, you co-create, shaping what's to come with hands guided by higher wisdom. Imagine existing in a flow where every gesture, every word is infused with purpose. Here, your offerings ripple outward, restoring harmony where there was once silence. This isn't obligation. It's your soul returning to what it always knew how to do. Uplift, build, illuminate. You're not giving yourself away. You're fulfilling yourself through divine motion. The bond between you and the source of all life has deepened into something eternal. The fear that once haunted transitions fades now into stillness. This shift isn't departure, it's alignment. Not a leap into darkness, but a step into pure clarity. You don't walk this next part alone. You move within a current of protection and grace. Let that truth calm you. Every piece of your journey has been preparing you to release the old with faith, not fear. The weight of the past no longer fits where you're going. Your spirit stands ready, not just refined, but resilient. You're not just entering something new. You're returning to something whole, looking for purpose and peace. Hit subscribe and start the journey. This shift doesn't end anything. It synchronizes everything. It is the echo of your inner truth, resonating with a higher rhythm. Let it carry you. Let it open you. This isn't a fall. It's a return to altitude. You're not leaving behind. You're stepping fully into what you were always becoming. Timing in the sacred blueprint is never random. Certain moments shimmer with precision, thresholds where space and spirit fold together and passage becomes possible. These inflection points are rare. When they arrive, they demand presence. They offer the cleanest bridge between dimensions, free from resistance, anchored in divine rhythm. Across time and traditions, there have always been markers, still points where reality bends and gateways open. These are not superstitions, they are sacred alignments, and when you arrive at such a moment, something within you clicks. You feel it, not in thought, but in essence. Let your awareness rest on this. The moment is now. Prepare from within. The journey is no longer theoretical. The next layer of truth will be walked, not pondered. As the veil thins, as thresholds open, your passage becomes not a break from life, but a return to source. This crossing is not loss, it is reunion. It is release into the infinite. The form may fade, but the essence remains. The part of you untouched by time now steps forward to take its place. The mask of limitation falls away, revealing the radiance that has always burned beneath. And with that, everything changes. The old structure dissolves. The soul expands. You are no longer bound by gravity, physical or emotional. What you've sought is no longer distant. It is here, within, all around. This is the moment your deepest longing transforms into fulfillment. You are no longer the version of yourself that waited. You have arrived at the beginning of a new expression, pure, unhindered, awake. The path ahead opens not into emptiness, but into eternity. Every breath becomes purpose, every heartbeat a reflection of the divine harmony you now fully embody. There is a glow within you now that cannot be dimmed. It has grown through silence, through persistence, through the choices you've made when no one else was watching. This inner radiance is not borrowed. It was born from the sacred within you. What rises now is not just brightness, it is revelation, a unique expression of divine origin, ready to illuminate paths for others and usher in healing where the world has grown dim. You no longer carry this radiance in secret. What once flickered behind walls of doubt now expands, unhidden and undeniable. This is the moment it finds its full strength. Your very presence becomes a signpost for others searching in the dark. The essence you hold was never meant to stay buried. It was always destined to lead, to lift, to ignite change. Let it expand into every corner of your being. Let it awaken your thoughts, soften your emotions, and move through your actions. You were never meant to remain small. What begins now is not retreat. It is expansion. What appears as an ending is the invitation into your most complete form. You are not leaving. You are stepping beyond boundaries, into a field untouched by time, where your soul rests in endless rhythm with the source. What feels like goodbye is actually sacred unfolding. It honors all you have lived and invites you into something far greater than memory or material form. As others mourn, your spirit rejoices. The return is not somber, it is exalted. You are drawn back to origin, welcomed not as a stranger, but as one remembered, awaited, beloved. The embrace you receive now is beyond any measure this world can offer. The idea that this is a finale is a misunderstanding of the divine. What you step into is not conclusion, it is elevation. The departure from physical form is not a retreat into silence. It is an entrance into pure existence, where you begin again with no veil, no barrier, no fear. What greets you is not a void, but a realm saturated in meaning. Your essence finds its rhythm here, unburdened, undistorted. Every step hereafter is effortless truth. You do not fade, you arrive. You do not vanish. You emerge in full expression. Every ache, every unspoken wish, every moment you thought was forgotten, all of it finds its healing now. You are met not with judgment, but recognition. You are no longer what the world labeled you. You are who you've always been underneath. Whole, holy, eternal. The separation dissolves. You are no longer divided by thought or body. You become one with the divine movement, part of something vast and unending. This is not imagination. It is your return to pure awareness. It is your essence remembering itself completely. If your heart overflows with divine love, now is the moment to let it shine. Click the super thank you button on YouTube and give $50 or more to help carry God's light to others. Your gift will bless not only your life, but countless others. You are part of His sacred plan. Your kindness may be the answer to someone's prayer. Share your blessings and honor His kingdom. May His grace guide you always. A new landscape unfolds before you, not with steps, but with presence. Time loses its grip. Love becomes the language. Every moment ahead holds the tone of fulfillment. This is the arrival you've long felt, but could never explain. Now you know it, because you are it. You did not come here without purpose. Everything you've walked through, every trial, every triumph, was part of the architecture of your awakening. The agreements your soul made have been honored. You have crossed the thresholds with courage, and the time has come to take your place beyond the veil. What you carry with you is not weight, but wisdom. What lies ahead is not mystery, but calling. Your chapter continues in sacred service, shaped now by clarity rather than struggle. The transition you make is not an escape, but a coronation. Your spirit steps into its next role, not as a memory, but as a force of light, fully realized. There comes a moment when the weight of this world slips away, not in defeat, but in fulfillment. You've reached a turning point not marked by endings, but by sacred elevation. No longer confined to earthly rhythms, you now align with something infinitely larger than yourself. This next phase isn't about personal goals or fleeting desires. It's the fulfillment of a greater design in which your existence becomes a living instrument of divine harmony. The work of your soul continues, but now it echoes across eternity. Every choice you made in faith, every sacrifice born of love, ripples outward in ways you cannot yet see. This isn't the conclusion of your journey. It's the blossoming of a deeper mission. You've completed one sacred cycle and now enter the next, as one entrusted with a legacy of light. What begins now is not abstract. It's real. It's personal. You step into a role reserved for those who've been refined through endurance. A place waits for you, crafted outside of time, a dwelling not built by hands, but by intention. This space isn't symbolic, it is precise, consecrated for your arrival by divine intelligence. It exists beyond recognition and beyond striving. It is your eternal anchor, your rightful station within the order of the unseen. There, you are met not with applause, but with knowing. Your name spoken in love, your essence honored in silence. The world may have missed your value, but the realm you now step into has never looked away. Make your impact eternal. Join now and be a light in someone's darkness. You are not forgotten. You are awaited. And your place is not just safe, it is celebrated. Around you, light gathers, not just as welcome, but as affirmation. You are always seen, always chosen. And now, the welcome is complete. Not because you arrived perfect, but because you arrived faithful. This sacred dwelling is not passive. It radiates with power, the kind that restores, the kind that builds. You've not been given rest as reward. You've been granted authority through presence. You now hold space in the great unfolding. Your voice echoes in the divine pattern. You are no longer a seeker. You are part of the answer.